Hello folks. Well, I just wanted to give you a bit of an intro to how quizzes are going to run this term and talk a little bit about the practice quiz in particular. So, I don't think there's going to be any big surprises here. Hopefully most of you have used VIU Learn for quizzes at some point in the past, but if not, essentially the idea is you want to log into VIU Learn and go to your CSCI 485, make sure it's the one for hours, not the 485C, and you want sections N01 or N02. But again, as long as it's my course, you should be in pretty good shape. Let's see, what did I want to babble about? The practice quiz is obviously, actually, this is distracting me, sorry. The practice quiz is not for marks, it's purely optional. The only practical implication for you is that if you want to use it as a way to show me that you're in the course so I don't no-show you, this is one of the ways you can do it. Like all the quizzes, it's going to be available for a 12-hour period on the scheduled date. So for this one, it's January 7th. It'll be available from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening, Nanaimo time. So Pacific Standard or whatever it might be. Let's see, once you start, you've got 50 minutes to complete it. Again, it isn't for marks, and it's only a handful of questions, and it's probably going to take you like 8 minutes to do. But just so you get used to the process that we'll be following for the rest of the quizzes, they'll follow this same idea. This one and the later quizzes also don't actually cut you off after the 50 minutes is up. It allows you to keep working, but it shows the instructor where you got to. So just in case anything goes horribly wrong and, for some reason you have to go over, fire me an email afterwards saying, Dave, I went over by 10 minutes because blah, 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 blah. Again, if you just go over because you want more time to answer it, that's a little bit different, and it tells me where you got to in the quiz, and I'll keep that in mind when I'm going through marking them. For a lot of the quizzes, the questions get randomly ordered, or at least some of them might get randomly ordered. And some questions have multiple different versions of the question, and you're going to get one of them at random. So for the most part, they're equivalent questions, just different specific content. For the practice quiz, feel free to skip anything you don't want to answer. Again, this is just for practice, just to make sure you get a chance to play with the tool, just to make sure I get a chance to play with the settings on this thing and whatnot. And essentially the questions themselves are just about background and resources and that kind of thing. So feel free to skip anything you don't want to answer. For this particular quiz, they're generally short answer questions, maybe some multiple choice, maybe some multiple select. For later quizzes, they'll be a lot more in the sort of long answer style of question, where you're giving written answers. So for this one, the practice quiz, it's just meant to give you a chance to try out the quiz tool, hit the VIU Learn page for the course, give me some information about your background and the resources so I can tailor the course a little bit better to the group of students we actually have. I'm going to go through the quiz rules. Again, it doesn't really matter for the practice quiz, but for the later quizzes, these are the rules we're going to use, so we might as well kind of set them early. So for everything in the term, it's got to be your own work. So quizzes, exams, labs, that kind of thing, it's all got to be your own work. You can't get help from somebody else in answering these and answering the quizzes. All the work submitted is expected to be yours. Now, since these are all obviously online exams, you've got Google and whatever available to you. If you use any resources other than the ones I directly give you as part of the course, make sure that you cite those. Let me know the author, the URL, the date, title, all that kind of thing, so I know where you're getting your information from. You're not allowed to communicate with anybody. You're not allowed to get help from anybody else on the exam, so it's got to be individual work. No communicating with people, no messaging, no screen sharing, no video communication. Don't work in the same room as somebody else, so they can't be glancing over at screens or talking to each other or muttering or whatever it might be. Essentially no communication with other people as part of answering this. Again, that should be pretty much common sense, but we should say it up front at some point. So no sharing documents, no sharing information. And again, that's going to hold for all of the quizzes and all of the exams this year. There are a bunch of resources available to you if you get stuck on anything, if you get stuck with VIU Learn, if you need some orientation or some refreshers, if there's any of the technology issues that cause a problem. Again, here's just a slew of URLs, and you can hit these if you need them. Again, I think for the most part, this is stuff you've done last term anyways, I hope. But if not, hit the links if you need to. Contact me if you need to, right? We can always figure things out. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through on the quizzes. Again, we'll be running one of these every 2 weeks or so. They should be old hat by the time we get to the end of the year. All right, I will leave it there for now.